Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to Trillium Flow Technologies' dedicated webinar focusing on fertilizer valve solutions from our RedPoint valve brand. My name is Simon Tattersall, the Regional Sales Director for Northern Europe, Scandinavia and South Africa. I'm going to start the webinar today by myself giving an overview of our company and also a wider look at our valve portfolio. We're then going to hand over to Ivo Loss, our product specialist from RedPoint, who's going to run through the specific fertilizer valve application solutions and technologies that we have for the fertilizer industry. If you have any questions and answers, please use the question and answer function, and we'll endeavour to answer those questions. So, Trillium Flow Technologies was established in 2019 when it purchased the flow control division from the Urea group, which gave us 16 brands of valves and pumps, some really strong heritage brand names there, which you recognise when I go through. And since the acquisition of the Urea flow control division, we've added RedPoint valves just over a year ago, and more recently Thermomechanica Pompe to the team. That really puts us in a strong position as a global provider of, a complete flow solution, so we can provide to our customers all valves and pumps, turbines and service support for a complete project or the lifetime of an asset. At Trillium Flow Technologies, we really pride ourselves on the fact that we look after our customers from cradle to grave, if you like. So we'll be involved right from concept engineering of a project through specification, commissioning, help during operation with maintenance, upgrades, and then even there really when it comes down to decommissioning. So we're always there to try and give that really good support for our customers, and that's throughout our global footprint, which I'm going to show you on the next slide. So here you can see Trillium Flow Technologies global footprint. To give you an idea of the size of the business, it's over $520 million per year turnover. We've got over 3,200 employees, which is growing daily because we're doing really well as a business and growing nicely. You can see there really that we do have facilities all over the globe, and one of the real strengths of Trillium is the fact that we can manufacture our brands in multiple locations in our own facilities, not subcontractors. It's our own manufacturing facilities where our equipment's built to the exact specifications of our design center of origin for those products. So the quality is always really, really good. And the global footprint also allows us to give that local support from a service perspective, but equally, we can work with our customers if they're building a project in a specific region and they want it manufactured in a specific region, or even if we've got to put together a specific commercial position for a project. We've got all the tools in our tool bag to provide that at Trillium Flow Technologies. As you might expect from the really strong heritage brands we've got and over 190 years of experience, we've got a broad industry sector install base experience, and we play in a lot of fields. We can see 4 key ones on here, but we're in most industries you can come across. If we take a look at power, anywhere there's sort of steam generating plant, you tend to find some form of equipment from Trillium, whether it be a valve or a pump or a turbine. And we'll get involved right from sort of standard commodities, steam equipment, right through to, you know, your really high-end specialist application control valves, steam conditioning equipment, main steam isolation valves, you know, and to give you an idea, sort of quality standards, you know, we work right up into the sort of latest nuclear plants and nuclear technology. So we really understand the requirements of a customer and can give, you know, solutions as required. We move to oil and gas. From an oil and gas perspective, really strong in that area, from, you know, right from upstream, from the chokes on the wellhead, API 6A, through to all the ASME valves. You know, we've got valves, we've got solutions, and we've more importantly got experience in these areas. That's all backed up by an excellent service team that we can mobilize to support and give that really OEM level of confidence and make sure there's no downtime on the plants, make sure everything's running as efficiently as possible. And that's obviously on all the products, valves and pumps. From a sort of general industry perspective, you can see on there that we work in lots of areas, from pulp, paper, steel, you know, many areas, and then a lot of installed base and experience across our valve ranges. Equally, we're strong in the water and wastewater side of things, particularly on our pumps business. But again, our engineers and our facilities have got lots of experience, lots of knowledge on the applications, understand the materials, understand the specifications. You know, and today we're talking about fertilizer industry. Understanding the material requirements, understanding the applications is so crucial. You know, anybody can offer an alloy valve, but using the right grades, understanding where the corrosion will happen, you know, understanding about crystallization, all these points are really key. And at Trillium, we thoroughly understand the applications. So moving on really to have a look at our valve products. Starting with Atwood and Morrell, which is the design center of origin is Ipswich in Massachusetts, specializing in reverse current check valves, compressor check valves, three-way valves, and specialist isolation valves. Again, we can offer these from sort of standard materials, standard applications, but, you know, we are specialists in providing that engineered solution, providing that, you know, valve in the exotic material or the tough specification that's needed. And you can see there we can manufacture them in multiple locations also. Moving on to our butterfly valve range, which is the Batley valve. Great butterfly valve, and we can offer this from, you know, standard swing through design, double offset designs, standard materials, right through to, you know, specialist anti-cavitation trim designs in the butterflies used for, you know, overboard dump valves, recycle lines, etc. And, you know, looking at fertilizer industry, you know, we understand the materials. We can provide, you know, forged variants as well with special sealing systems to really give that solutions that needed for longevity on the plant. That's supported by our design center of origin, which is Elland in the UK. Moving on to our control valve range. Again, we're really good product span on our control valve range, right from a standard top guided control valve through our multi-stage, multi-cage trim designs, right up to our extreme velocity control trim technologies to eliminate, you know, cavitation, noise, all the problems that can occur if you specify a valve run. So our engineers will look at the process conditions, understand the application, and really give that solution. When we start looking at fertilizer side of things, of course, we understand the no dead zones, the angle valve designs, and obviously, preventing crystallization, which we may come on to in our discussions at the end. And you can see there that, we'll go from the right sort of basic pressure class, ANSI 150, right up to ANSI 4500 or API, even higher on API. We go up to API 15K. And we can manufacture that, as you can see, in multiple locations, again, supported by Elland, our design center of origin. RedPoint, I'll leave to Ivo to talk about, but we'll move on to Hopkinson's, which you may have come across. Again, it's been around 179 years, Hopkinson's, and it's synonymous with quality. Main design is parallel slide gate valve, but we can manufacture this again from standard carbon steels, low pressure class, right up to the forged designs, high pressure classes for supercritical and ultra critical applications. And again, the one thing that we're really specialist at is understanding that special customer specification, that special material requirement. And a big point for Hopkinson's is that we provide it into the nuclear industry, and we've got the N stamp. So again, brilliant product, Hopkinson's, and you've probably come across it before. Saracen is our safety relief valve range. We have the standard ASME 8 spring-loaded pressure relief valve designs, conventional balance designs. We've got pilot operator designs, and then equally we've got similar in the ASME 1 side of things. But again, we have a standard range. We've worked in the industry for such a long time. We've got references for pretty much every application. And, at Saracen, we can tailor a solution. We can provide that little change that's going to help the customer, effectively, run that plant a little bit longer. So again, a great product there. And that's manufactured from our DCO, which is Vanden-le-Ville in France. Quickly touching on Sabine. Sabine's our nuclear safety valve. It's probably a world-leading safety relief valve in the nuclear industry. And again, that's manufactured in France. We have Tricentric, which is the other part of our butterfly valve offering, which is our triple offset design. So again, if you've got a requirement where you need tight shut off, you need tight shut off, and it has to be metal to metal tight shut off. The triple offset's excellent for that. It's supported by our design center of origin in Ipswich, Massachusetts. And again, we're not just able to provide a standard range like some manufacturers. We're able to provide standard and an engineered range to suit, real specific applications. So in the fertilizer industry, there's quite a lot of specialist materials and little tweaks which we understand. Quickly talk through the pumps. If anybody wants information on the pumps, we can obviously do a specific webinar on this. We have a really great range of pumps which are used in pretty much most industries as well. We've got a lot of heritage there in the pump side of things. So we've got Gabionetta, which is a great pump product from our Milan factory. We've got Flowwave vertical turbine pumps, mainly from Fresno in California. We've got Wemco and WSB, along with Rotajet, also out of the States, but we can manufacture these in Europe as well now, particularly the Rotorjet. So really from a pump offering, if you do recognize these brands, if you do have opportunities for these brands, please make contact. And it's not just from a new pump perspective. We can do engineering upgrades on these pumps. We can, re-rate them, etc. So please get in touch if you've got any pump requirements. And then, moving on to, what happens after we sell a product. At Trillium, a real key thing for us is looking after the customers, and we want our products to be out there for a long time. So to support that, we've got a really good service network. And really, if I talk through the sort of 3 key areas, so site services, so whether it's pumps or rotating equipment that they make, steam turbines, compressors, we can mobilize one man to site or one lady to site or a team of 200 to site. We can help plan outages. We've got long-term service agreements with customers where we've got teams based on customer sites. And obviously we can mobilize people onshore, offshore, all over the world when required. So, our site services is really strong and it's synonymous with that quality. It gives the customer the real confidence that it's being fixed by an OEM. Moving on to sort of workshop side of things, we've got some really excellent workshop facilities, again, for all our products, both valves and pumps. So we're able to refurbish, we're able to upgrade, we've got, for example, in the UK where I am at the moment, we've got an excellent pump test loop, so we can actually, prove the pumps. And, we can work with obsolescence and reverse engineer and really look at anything really from a workshop perspective. We've got great facilities. Service plans, again, we want to work with the customers, and if you've got any service requirements, please reach out. We're always open to sit down and discuss, experience we've got and how we can help you. And you can see on there, we put in place long-term service agreements. We provide 24/7 coverage, and we work across many industries, and they've all got their own little quirky ways, but we understand it. But equally, please talk to us if you've got some requirements, and we'll be very happy to discuss with you. So that kind of hopefully gives you an overview of Trillium Flow Technologies and a little bit of a look into our wider valve portfolio. So now I'm going to hand over to Ivo, and Ivo's going to go into a lot more detail on what we can offer for the fertilizer industry with RedPoint. Over to you, Ivo.
Yes, good day all. Thank you, Simon. Please remind you to use the Q&A box. I see some questions incoming, but whenever you have a question, please use the Q&A box. At the end of the presentation, we will look into the box and answer the questions that you have. For RedPoint, today we have fertilizer valves on the menu. RedPoint, we are in business for over 35 years. Myself, I'm an account manager of RedPoint and more than 20 years in the valve business. RedPoint is a valve brand. We manufacture isolation valves. That means ball, gate, globe, and check valves. Full range of isolation valves from 1/4 inch up to 16 inch. Low pressure class 150 up to 10,000 psi. And we are flexible with our designs. So we can offer designs in accordance with the API, ASME, DIN, YIS, or EN standards. The markets we are serving, of course, we are in the traditional markets, oil and gas, chemical, petrochemical, and LNG. We have a dedicated range developed for the industry, the last 4. It's oxygen, API, PTA, and also for fertilizer. So today we will zoom into the fertilizer industry, especially for the urea, carbamate, nitric acid, and melamine. So the fertilizer production process, the process route. So we are specialized. Where can you find the RedPoint valves, especially on the red colored text? So it means nitric acid, urea carbamate, and then in the synthesis project and in melamine. So you can find our valves in those type of services. How can we help you as a valve manufacturer in the fertilizer industry? We have 3 unique selling points. The first one is fast track delivery, which means between 6 and 10 weeks. Because who has these valves in stock when you have a maintenance or turnaround and you need a fertilizer valve quickly? Who keeps that in stock? We don't know, but we know RedPoint can help you with 6 to 10 weeks lead times. The second one, fertilizer material grades. Who knows where to source these type of materials? RedPoint has stock of these type of materials, and we have a good supply chain in order to deliver these materials. Fertilizer valves. Who has the experience to deliver these fertilizer valves? Well, RedPoint has experience and have special designs for these services. Our design lifetime is more than 25 years, and we are able to design the valves in according to your specifications. Unique selling point, number 1, the fast track delivery, 6 to 10 weeks delivery time window. 2 examples. One was with GPIC in Bahrain. They had a turnaround and they were looking for some valves in 310 MOLM with lens end connections. They had 10 weeks. We helped them out. 70 pieces in 10 weeks delivery time, angle type globe valves, high pressure. Another one was for a project with Erosion. Erosion, they forgot to order some valves. So at the end of their project, they were desperately looking for super duplex valves in accordance with the Styrene carbon specifications, MS47. Who helped them out? RedPoint in 10 weeks lead time. Globe valves, check valves, high pressure, PM 325. Unique selling point number 2, the fertilizer material grades. All the materials that we're using for the fertilizer grades are forged materials. The first one, urea grade. The urea manufacturing process requires special stainless steels able to withstand severe production conditions. The cocktail of corrosive carbamate, high pressure up to 200 bar, high temperature up to 200 degrees Celsius requires special stainless steels such as 316 LUG or 25-22-2 grades to guarantee the lifetime of your installation. Licenses like Saipem, Styrene Carbon, Toyo and Casali, they have developed all their own specifications. At RedPoint, we know where to source these materials and how to help you in case you need these materials. For nitric acid applications, depending on the concentration and temperature, nitric acid may require special stainless steel grades with low molybdenum contents. In boiling nitric acid solution, the best results are obtained with high chromium grades, with the chromium content of 25%. 310 LNAG nitric acid grade modified outperforms 304L in boiling acids over 65%. We have stainless steels 904L, 347, 321, 310, the duplexes, the super duplexes in accordance with the Styrene carbon specifications, but also for melamine, alloy 59, alloy C22 in accordance with AD2 Medicblad. Beside these grades, we are also specialized in the titaniums and zirconiums. Unique selling point number 2, fertilizer material grades, the trim material. Quite often we receive a request for quotation to replace an older valve. Older valves, they are equipped with the first generation of duplex stainless steel, like HVD1. We use for our trim the second generation duplexes, super duplexes like Ferrarium 255. Number 3, non-commodity, unique selling point. One of our success stories. There was a customer end user in Southeast Asia. They had valves installed which were over 25 years of age. They had issues for 25 years to maintain these valves. They had issues on site. So they invited us. We, as RedPoint, together with their engineering and maintenance team, developed a valve for them which is fit for purpose and for easy maintenance. The valve is equipped with a solid handle construction, low torque construction for easy operation, fugitive emission class A packing and seals, including a protection sleeve on the stuffing box, back seat, packing replaceable in open position, seat integral, that was one of their wishes for easy maintenance, mirror finish disc, integral steam channels to avoid crystallization, and the channels were condensate, gravity flow or slope. Mirror finished lens end connections, flow under disc, and a controllable stem disc. So the disc and the stem is one piece. Looking at urea, what happens or what are the issues you have in urea applications? There are always high pressures up to PM 325, various kinds of corrosions and limited choice of materials. You have seen RedPoint is specialized in these type of materials, so we can easily help you with the valves in those type of material grades. High delta P's, there's a risk of erosion with the particles in the flow, crystallization risk. There are large sizes up to 14 inch for the control valves, 8 inch for the isolation valves. The solid particles are always present. So the solid particles are the most critical parameter for the sealing between the seat and the disc. So you need to install the valve in the right position to avoid problems. Looking at our urea valve range, this is our standard range. It's an integral flanged globe valve, integral bonnet and yoke for heavy construction, a plug type disc. Stuffing box is the same material as the body, which is the wetted part as well. Flow is under the disc, which is preferred when you install the valve. Other features in the valve, it's a low torque construction for easy operating, fitted with emission class A packing and seals, including the protection sleeve. I will show you later in the presentation what we mean with the protection sleeve. The packing is replaceable in an open position. Seat is integral and maintainable. If you wish to have a renewable seat, it is possible. Mirror finish disc, plug type disc to reduce erosion damages. We added a grease nipple, integral bonnet and yoke, mirror finish lens ends, and the installation can be horizontal or vertical, but keep in mind, always flow under the disc. It's an economical design and equipped with the controllable stem and disc. We have also the high pressure globe valve in larger sizes, including threaded lens entering with the threaded carbon steel flanges in accordance, for example, with the SIPEM specifications, the 316 LUG, with a parabolic disc, integral seat, and non-rotating rising stem and disc. For the larger sizes, 4 inch and larger, we use a gearbox for easy operating. Seat options, these are the renewable seat options. So on your left-hand side, the first one, you see a seat which is replaceable. It's a lens end seat. So you can have an additional leak pad and risk that it's not fitted in the right position during assembly. So be aware of that. The second one is on screwed in or pressed in seat. For screwed in seats, you can unscrew the seat with a tool from the top of the body after disassembling the bonnet. The third one It's a cartridge style cage with replaceable seat, so you can replace the seat, the cage, the disc and bonnet as a cartridge once. It's for easy and quick maintenance and replacements because the seat, the disc, the cage and the bonnet is part of the cartridge. The stuffing box, the design of the stuffing box. So this is the protection sleeve washer or bushing. You see on the blue arrow, you see the protection sleeve washer or bushing to prevent abrasive particles to enter the stuffing box, which extends the lifetime. The gland is bolted and you can adjust the packing rings. The right-hand side, you see the green arrow. It is a option with a Latin ring. So you can choose if you prefer to have a Latin ring, then we have that option as well. So looking at our globe valve designs, the designs are low pressure drop, no dead spaces in case of crystallization, integral or replaceable seat. We can add a steam jacket, flow always under the disc, integral stem and disc hard facing on the disc to reduce wear. We don't use any alu bronze materials and we don't use any stellite overlay on valves in nitric acid surfaces. Looking at our check valves, this is the design we are using for the check valves. It's a low pressure drop design, dead spaces free, so to prevent corrosion. Optimized flow design, it's non-slamming, a fully hard-faced disc, hard facing on the seat is possible as well, integral seat, or sometimes you would prefer a renewable seat. Fugitive emission class A body to body seal, it's an angle or a straight type. On the picture you see the straight type and it's a two-piece body, so that's easy for maintenance. The valve is equipped with a spring, but the spring is protected, so it's not in the flow. So there are no particles that can enter the spring, which will affect the spring. That is not possible in this case. We have also another design similar to this, but then without the spring. It's a springless design, the same features as the check valve with spring. Testing. At RedPoint, we do a lot of testing, NDT, UT, RT, PMI, LPE, MPE as possible. We can do extended hydro testing, fugitive emission testing, high pressure gas testing, or high temperature testing, impact testing on the materials, and fire safe testing in case you would like to have a fire safe certified valve. Most important is the intergranular corrosion testing in accordance with WE. For example, WE testing is in accordance to the practice C, according to the ASTM A262. Streicher is in accordance with the practice B, and Strauss is in accordance with the practice E. Intergranular corrosion testing is most important here, and it's also been done by an approved laboratorium. For example, in the SAIPAM G510, they specify to do this at a certified lab, which we will do as well. Certifications and approvals. We have our API 6A monogram, API 6D, ISO certifications, PED to deliver the valves to Europe, ATEX, AD medic block for Germany, fire safe certifications, WPS PQR in case we need to weld, CRN to deliver the valves to China, TRCU to CIS countries, and TSG to China. So these are our diplomas and certifications approvals. So this is the end of the fertilizer presentation. Let's have a look at the Q&A box, Simon.
Yes, thank you, Ivo. So we do have some questions that have come in. If you just give me a second. So the first one, Ivo, one for you is, which FE test procedure do we typically follow?
FE testing. It's in accordance with the ISO 158481 type testing, static and dynamic. It's in type testing. And then we also do at delivery, we do the EN ISO 158482 production testing, which involves five cycles.
Okay. We've got another question here, which I guess I can answer, which is, can you supply control valves for urea service? And the answer is definitely yes. You've probably seen from our Blakeborough range, we've got a full range there, but typically these valves would be angle designs where we've modified the flow passage, if you like, to remove dead space and really smooth it out. We also put in additional features like steam jacketing and lantern rings to allow condensate connections to stop crystallization. We'll also obviously offer the internal valve trim to suit the application, whether it's, you know, a high pressure drop or a cavitating application for recycle or something like that, where we'd use one of our multi-stage trim designs. From a manufacturing perspective, of course, we can support that fully from our design center of origin and manufacture it wherever's needed or wherever's convenient. Okay, let's have a look at some more questions. I would say if anybody has got any more questions, please keep them coming in, because we want to hear from you. And if you do have any that you don't want to ask now, please reach out afterwards. Okay, and we've got another one that I'll let you answer, Ivo, because it's quite a good one actually, which is, how can Trillium supply the fertilizer material grades so quickly?
Okay, yeah, we have good relations. We have a good supply chain. We have the materials, the forged materials in stock, and we have a supply chain that can offer us quick lead times for shops, but also stockists of these type of grades that can help us out with these type of materials, which is then in accordance with the Stami Carbon or Saipem or Casali or Toyo specifications.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for that, Ivo. We've no other questions that have come in, so I'll leave it a minute or so just to see if any more come in. As I said, thank you for joining our webinar today. If you do have any questions or any information on any of the product lines you've seen or any of the services we offer, and obviously particularly if you've got some nice fertilizer applications that you need assistance with, please reach out to us. No more questions have come in, so what I'd say is thank you very much for joining. Ivo, anything you'd like to add?
I would like to thank the people who took the opportunity to see the webinar today for the fertilizer valves. Reach out to me when you have any questions or comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.